Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantabulous episode of Chad Hogan Live, where we will be playing Luigi's Real Estate Agent. Now, this is a fun game. This is a game that, originally Luigi's Mansion was a little disappointing, okay? And the reason was because back in 2001, the Gamecube launch was extremely exciting. And I was there. I got a Gamecube at launch, and it was just something else, man. It was fantabulous. Let me just check the audio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another. Okay, perfect. I just gotta hope the gaming audio is good because Virtua Fighter was a little quiet. Okay. We'll turn that up a bit more. How's that? Virtua Fighter was just a bit quiet. So I'm back with a morning stream. I rewatched the Virtua Fighter stream. Wasn't fully satisfied. It's an amazing game, and I love Virtua Fighter. So not the game's fault. I'm always perfecting my streams, and obviously I, in the future, will upgrade my camera and such. But not to worry about that now. Let's just have fun. And we're playing Luigi's Real Estate Simulator. So anyways, 2001, I saved up for a GameCube, finished high school. I mean, like, just got a job. My first purchase, 18 years old, you know, living at home. My first purchase was, I'm just trying to figure out the controls. Okay. I'm wondering if something's off. Or if it's just an auto aim kind of thing. Okay, let's try it. So 2001, finished high school. GameCube's just coming out. And so is Xbox. Yeah, everything's fine. So is Xbox, okay. But not as interested, still paying attention. Xbox is weird, okay? I got the official Xbox magazine that came out for free. And it was a great advertisement for Xbox. And it was really cool, and I was very interested in one. But just too unknown, okay? I was, you know, waiting for that GameCube. Like, this was going to be better than PS2. And it wasn't. But I got a GameCube. I got Luigi's Mansion. I got Star Wars Rogue Leader. I got Wave Race, okay? And I was very happy that I got them, and it was like a goal completed. I had been working for a couple months, pushing buggies. I was a buggy boy. And I just felt the same feeling that I think people felt with Star Wars Episode 1, which I loved, so I can't relate, but there's just something off, you know? This wasn't Mario 64 we were playing. This was a unique and cool game, but it wasn't Mario 64, okay? Uh-oh. I remember this. Ah! But, so a couple months later, so I got my Luigi's Mansion. I actually got the GameCube 4 days early because I worked in a game store called Microplay, if anyone in Ontario remembers Microplay. Or even Canada. It was a Canadian franchise. Where am I supposed to go? Microplay employed me as a late teenager, early adult. Eric Winlove Smith was my boss. He was a absolute legend. All the teens, you know, didn't like him because he was the owner. But I liked him because I got to form like a kind of like a customer friendship, like you know any kid would at their video game store. Eric's actually like, he was not nice to me, but he respected me, and it wasn't that he was mean. He was the owner of a business. He wasn't there to be anyone's friend. He wanted to sell video games. But because of that, me bringing my friends around after school and paying to play, you could pay 25 cents for 10 minutes of a system, pick a game, whatever rental, you could play it there in the store. It was a great idea and a great moneymaker, as I would later learn. But just, I was bringing business to the store, and I spread the good word of Microplay, and he eventually hired me, and I got to work there, and I sucked as an employee. I absolutely was in the worst time of my life. Like, it was good, but I was focused on my girlfriend and going to college and all this shit that, looking back, I should have been, yes, focused on that stuff, but should have been focused on Microplay. You know, I think I took the focus off my job of it. So anyways, got this game 4 days early from Microplay, right? Eric's like swearing me. Like, I'm just chatting with Eric. I'm just going in. Gamecube's coming out in a few days. I'm just like, hey, Eric, how's it going? You know, go in, see who's working. It's either Eric or it's like the younger guys who all the kids loved because the younger guys would let people run rampant in the store, right? It was like fucking, as long as you were respectful, you weren't damaging anything, but it'd be like 5, 6, 7, 8 teenagers hanging out at Microplay, right? So we'd go there, and Eric was working, and I'm just chit-chatting with him, and he leaves the room, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. He comes back with a garbage bag, and I start talking, he shuts me up. I'm like, what? He's like, Chad, just shut up for a minute. I have to tell you something. Okay, Eric, what's up? He's like, I'm going to give you the GameCube a few days early. I want you to go home and play this thing and tell me what it's like. He's like, this is my pre-order. I paid it off. We're waiting 4 days before launch. It was like a Monday, and it came out on Thursday. And my jaw dropped. He's like, don't you tell anyone, because I could lose my business license for this, right? And I'm sure it's been long enough that if he's still in business, he wouldn't lose his license. But also heard he passed away. Not sure which is the truth, but much love to Eric Winlove Smith. I think I gotta talk to Toad here. So he was a cool boss. He was stern, but you know, he taught me the ways of the business, and he taught me how to be good to customers. A lot of my customer service comes from Microplay. So I got my GameCube a few days before launch. Eric swears me to secrecy, and I'm telling you, man, I knew something was off. I knew something was just slightly, ever so slightly off. You know what I mean? Kind of like my headroom here. Just ever so slightly off. Like, it was good. Clearly the graphics were amazing, and I could see the difference from N64 already. Like, this was truly everything I had wanted, you know, going from N64 and then getting a Dreamcast, and then eventually trading that and getting a PS2 and trading that, because I didn't have a lot of money, and I got a PC. So at this point in my life, I'm just on PC, and I get my GameCube, and this is during the PS2 era. I've already had a PS2. I've traded it for the PC. Intel Celeron. Cheap piece of shit, but it worked, and it played games like Blood and Half-Life and Age of Empires, so I was fully integrating into the PC gaming world at this time. But this comes around, keeps me steadfast in a console game. Where the hell am I supposed to go? And I'm just absolutely, like, excited that I finally have the GameCube and that it's out, but a little disappointed that, like, look, this game wasn't Mario 64. Sorry to compare, but it was good. Wave Race wasn't quite Wave Race 64. Like, Wave Race on GameCube, I'll play it sometime. Maybe I have to save. But like literally, it just wasn't as good. Wave Race on GameCube was developed by NST, I think, NST, which was Nintendo Software Technologies. Kind of like how Sega had an American company make Sonic 3, and then other games like Vector Man and stuff. Nintendo opened up an American company, like first party, to make games that are American based, which was a good idea. But it just wasn't fucking Wave Race 64, okay? I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was awesome on the GameCube controller. It just wasn't Wave Race 64. Where am I going? I can only go in those two doors. Like, literally, that's all I got. See, it'd be cool at the time when, you know, Miyamoto wanted to, if you could use your Game Boy like this. I like how Luigi hums. So yeah, so report back to Eric. You know, I'm working at Microplay. It's the end of high school for me. I'm in grade 12 at this point. No, sorry, I was finished high school. I was working. I was a buggy boy. And I was just finished grade 12, and I'm working for my first year. You know, like, I worked as a paper boy, but never like on a shift schedule like this, right? Well, crumpets, man. Where am I supposed to go? Is the key in here? So I get an offer from my stepdad at the time. Well, still stepdad, and and always stepdad. But he's like, hey, that new Xbox is out. What do you think of that? You know where this is going. I'm like, I think it's pretty cool. He's like, would you get one? How about, he's like, what if we split it? Your Christmas present, I'll pitch in half for an Xbox. You're working now. You pay half, I'll pay half. I agreed. I said, that's a pretty wicked present. Okay. It's $4.49 at the time. Got the Xbox. And I gotta admit, I liked it more. And I was a Nintendo fan, you know, but I was getting into PC gaming more. And all I could do was just enjoy this next gen. So it didn't matter what system was better. Like, what was important was that I'm playing my PC, I'm playing GameCube, you know, and anyone that was at that time, you guys were too. All right. I'm seriously, like, debating here. There's got to be something in this room. This is tricky. This is just the first area. I'm just gonna do a quick Google search. Didn't have no Google search back then, man. I tell you what. Damn it, ceiling fan. I gotta use in the foyer. I gotta use this poltergeist thing to examine the fan. Oh, that's right, stupid, eh? What are we doing? What are we doing? Examine the ceiling fan to find a key, which will allow you to enter the parlor. In the foyer. But what ceiling fan? There is no ceiling fan, but let's take that information. Maybe look in here. Okay, if I can't figure this out, we'll change games. Normally, I like to keep you on the edge of your seat here. But this is a head scratcher. But we'll keep it GameCube related, because that's what you came here for, right? Simply delightful. Come on. Well, that's all right. Can I do any more of that? Something's going on with this picture. There we go. Holy moly, how would you have figured that out? You gotta put out the candles. All right, all you paintings, that's enough out of you. So this is what you do in Luigi's Mansion. Critically acclaimed, it was also made fun of by fans because Miyamoto had famously said they didn't want to give away the next Mario because they were worried people would steal their ideas. And I think a lot of fans, this is a couple years before this game, in an interview. And it was a famous interview because people would later criticize Mario Sunshine and say like, oh, this is the big idea Miyamoto didn't want competitors getting a hold of and making their games like was the water jetpack. But I think what Luigi's Mansion was what he was talking about. The idea that instead of just making a Mario launch game, they're going to make something different with Luigi's Mansion, and then they're going to do the Mario game, and that's going to be different with the flood pack. Luigi uses a vacuum, and Mario uses a flood pack, and this was very much the start of the Nintendo gimmicks that we all know and love and hate today. But, I mean, it works. To show off the GameCube controller and the two sticks and how you use them, they're not just taken for granted that their fans maybe use a DualShock. This is Nintendo, and again, it's for anyone. It's for mom and dad. It's for anyone doing this for the first time. How you control such a complex character with such complex graphics and controls. This is a complexly challenging game to control. Look at this. Boom.
Oh yeah.
There's the key. That's all we had to do. That's all. So let me just look at the stream quickly to make sure the audio and visual is good, because that's what a good streamer does. Actually, a good streamer would have a friggin' I mean, it works. To show off the GameCube controller and the two sticks. It would have two screens. A good streamer. A good streamer. A good screener. All right. Here we go. So we got to keep that in mind moving forward, that we can blow out the candles. I forgot about that. Maybe it was something I knew back then, but what I would do in these days is I would go to the mall. I would have the internet by this point because I had my Intel Celeron, but I would still, there was no Google. You could Yahoo things, but you couldn't just Yahoo. How do I beat this level? Like, you'd have to literally, I had a GameFAQs.com, and they had walkthroughs for every game in text, and you had to scroll through the text. It was like notepad saves or whatever, text saves, right, that you'd open up and read, or it'd be on the site, and you'd scroll down to the part like chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm on chapter 6. I'm on stage 1, chapter 6. Okay, here we go. This is what I gotta do. Perfect. And you'd read it and apply it, and it was amazing. There was no YouTube walkthroughs. Boom. Where's those pesky ghosts? To capture them, you hit the R2 as PlayStation controller would have it. Right trigger as GameCube and Xbox would have it. I think. You hit the right trigger and hold it, and then you aim in the opposite direction of where the ghost is going. Come on. It was fun, and you do feel kind of like a Ghostbusters style tug and pull. This is closer to the Ghostbusters game than the Ghostbusters game was. They should just copy Luigi's Mansion. There we go. There should only be a couple left. Get this funny little kind of polka song playing. And now by this point you should be well versed into how to play, and the game truly starts to open up. So we're checking this.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh. Oh boy. We got a live one here. Oh, he's got 40. Oh, challenging, isn't it? Stop shooting. You gotta not be scared by the ghost when it pops up on you by not looking at it. Now we're gonna get this sucker. I don't think so, buddy. He throws banana peels to make it harder. Bam! In the vacuum you go, like a good little ghost. Oh, man. Ah. There's more after that. There's another one. That's a lot. Especially with all the bananas and stuff. Let's get a heart. There we go. I can vacuum up the bananas. Okay, good. But while I'm ahead. And then I'll vacuum up the bananas. There we go. That's a good solid strategy. Come on, we can do it. No, I gotta vacuum up the bananas. I don't have enough health. Pretty solid controls though. It's hard, but I mean, it works. It could only work with the simplicity of the GameCube controller. Although I'm using an Xbox controller to play it, so I suppose I'm wrong there, but it works. Okay, there better not be any more ghosts. Come on. This is a big area. Oh, another one. Slimer here wants to go in the vacuum. All right, let's go. There you go. Atta boy. Atta boy. Oh, I tell ya, let's get that key. Yeah, so GameCube launch, you know, a little disappointed, but not admitting it to myself. Oh, this is great. I just feel it though. And then once I played Halo, I was sick that Christmas, and I regret it because it was my last Christmas with my grandpa. So I should have just spent that Christmas, you know. But I had to stay home. Like, I was actually like pretty sick. I think my mom must have thought I was faking it because I got the Xbox for Christmas in the deal I made with my stepdad, splitting it. But I just stayed home. I played some Halo, but I slept most of the day. I just brand new working as a buggy boy out in the cold. I just caught something, you know, whatever. But playing the GameCube that day, or sorry, the Xbox, because I'm pretty sure I didn't turn on GameCube. I just loved having both the GameCube and Xbox. I traded my PS2 in after launch for a PC, and at that point the PS2 was good because GTA had come out, right? Actually, by this point, I had traded my GameCube. I told you I was a trader, and I traded it for a PS2 because Vice City, and that was the biggest game of the century by that point. You think GTA 6 is... You know, people forget about this immediately. Back then, all anyone wanted was Vice City. And when it came out, it was massive. You know, 20 million units sold. Like today, that would be huge news. That was still huge news back then. So at this point, I had my PS2 and Xbox. Still pretty cool. Early 2000s, you're rocking the millennial technology. Got these thick boxes. You know, they were all thick. The PS2, the Xbox, the GameCube. They still are. But super cool stuff, right? Super happy to be playing it. Super happy to be. What's up, Adam? Shout out to Adam. Yeah. Super cool to be playing this stuff. And I would eventually, a couple years later, get a Pentium 3, I think, or a Pentium 4. I think it was a Pentium 3. And I would run Star Wars Galaxies on that, which was not a great idea, but the game was still amazing. And this was an era where I'm playing Luigi's Mansion and Wave Race, Blue Storm, but also Halo, and also eventually Star Wars Galaxies, and you know, all the great GameCube games that would come out, the Xbox, the PS2, Vice City. Like, what a time to be a gamer. And it all started this gen. It all started with my Intel Celeron, getting my computer in 2001, trading that PS2 with the Intel Celeron. It all started with the Dreamcast, really. Once the Dreamcast came out, we're in a new era of gaming. And I think a lot of people felt that. But at the time, we didn't know it, right? And whether you're a PC gamer or a console gamer, you were getting some good stuff. It's good to have both. Most people had like a PS2 and a computer or whatever, you know? GameCube was actually like the least selling system that gen and considered a disappointment for Nintendo. But it would also be the precursor to the Wii. Nobody could see that coming. And I think more than any system that generation, even sometimes the PS2, people fondly look back at the GameCube. It held up well over time. Okay, let's open the door. You don't have to take 5 fucking minutes. Come on, Sonic. Let's get those rings. So what do we got in here? We got mice, little ghost mice. They're going to get vacuumed up too. So, I guess we'll start with door number 1. Who's in this chair? Who's throwing books? There you are. You little goofball, get over here. It's weird because the controls for the camera, or sorry, the vacuum are inverted, as are these controls. But your regular controls aren't, right? Obviously, they're running around isn't inverted, but you might be able to change that, but you almost don't want to because it's supposed to be backwards because you're looking at Luigi from your point of view and trying to control it from his point of view. Should have been a fire extinguisher too. Well, how do I get this guy's attention? How did I get him the first time? But, you know, the thing with the GameCube was in 2001, like, dare I say, and I don't speak for every gamer, but just the way pop culture was, Nintendo wasn't already cool to begin with because the N64 kind of made them a kiddie system. This was their redemption, and they kind of didn't redeem it because it still wasn't DVD, and people didn't know what Luigi's Mansion was or what to make of it before it came out, right? Nobody knew it would be a masterpiece, but they figured it would because it's Nintendo. But, like, what do you do with this, you know? What happens next? Like, people didn't want to play Luigi's Mansion. When they played Halo, the reason why Halo was so big is because it was just what the doctor ordered. It was just what people wanted. You know, in 2001, Tony Hawk's cool, PlayStation's cool, Gen X is cool. You know, millennials aren't being talked about like Gen Z is. Like, nobody thought about that shit as much as we do now. It was just a thing. We looked up to Gen X, and you know, we wanted to be cool like them and grunge music and stuff. So this wasn't fitting in with the times, you know. Sorry to say, but it holds up now because Nintendo is timeless now. So we're gonna come back to this guy, but you know what I mean, like now it holds up because Nintendo, everyone loves Nintendo. But oh, that's cute. But like back then, you know, Xbox was kind of the Gen X type system, you know, that 30-year-olds wanted, and like people didn't want to sit there vacuuming the fucking wall to see what to do next, you know. They wanted to blast alien scum in the head. And as much as that sounds noobish now, this is still when like shooters were coming into their own on PC. If this one opens up on me, okay. So I gotta fucking dust off this old man? Like, I don't know what to do. He ain't coming out of his chair. Something to do with this book. Alright, I'll Google this just to not waste your time. Step to the right of him and have your back to him. Right? Yeah, I gotta get him when he's yawning. Perfect. And the book's there to be a distraction while you fight him. But we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him, champs. Ah! I have 12 health left. Yeah. Get a little key, go further into the mansion. That's how we do it. Wasn't that great? Mario! So we're not gonna go on those two. I desperately need health. How do you get health in this game? Look at a light bulb or something? There we go. Guess that answers my question. Wow, five health. I'll be good on from here. There we go. Yeah, let's go. Come on. What the fuck? Is that the only time I can get her when her fucking heart's showing? There we go. What a clever little puzzle. I bet they had to come up with every single one of those, you know? Oh man, I don't have a lot of health. Each little ghost is its own little puzzle, you know? Miyamoto's encouraging of like, make sure you use that vacuum gimmick. But it worked. And where it holds up is, okay, maybe in 2001 we didn't want to vacuum walls, but in 2025 we sure do. I got one shot to do this. One shot. I need some health, brother. Is there any way I can get some health? Do I talk to Toad? The Game Boy horror. That's funny. But the Color was the big portable at the time in 2001. The Game Boy Color was the de facto portable. Maybe talking to old Toadstool here will give us a little handy J. Save. Does it? No, it doesn't do shit for my fucking health. Okay. Does this thing have a health, you know, once in a while? No. Just fucking 4 health do it. Where's the Nintendo love? There should have been a room or something that regens your health. I mean, I'm thinking modern sensibilities. Like, there's no checkpoints and shit back then, you know. There we go. Why's it gotta bounce so much? Well, there we go. Old school, you just gotta click on certain items and... That was very modern of Nintendo to have paper money as the currency. Whatever, we'll go do it with 34 health. Let's see what's beyond that door. Starting to get a feel for the mansion, you know? Luigi's real estate. And I like how the music tells you this is an area you need to go in because it's playing. Oh, you know, this ball will be part of the puzzle. I'm sure Miyamoto was gleefully dancing around the office when he came up with this idea. Like, that's just sad. What the fuck? A baby ghost? This game's making me feel uncomfortable now.
Oh yeah. Mario. Mario.
Alright. Let's trap this ghost into the vacuum cleaner. Baby not want to play ball? That's like baby's favorite games. Maybe I gotta hit one of the teddy bears. I'm Googling it in a minute if I don't figure it out. Oh, thanks to Horsey. Oh, this is creepy. Like a mini boss. At least it kind of refilled my health, or whatever the case was. What? That's confusing. This baby's evil. Well, you can use the Game Boy camera. You know they wanted to so bad. The limitations of the Game Boy. Sir, we might need to make a new system. One that goes along with the Gamecube. And it did. The Game Boy Advance. Boy, how. Oh, this baby's a boss. Classic Nintendo style boss though. This feels like something from Yoshi's Island even. There we go, playing tug of war. Get in this vacuum cleaner. Like, technically, wouldn't I be the bad guy? Like, what am I doing here? But this baby did put me into, like, this weird another dimension. I suppose in this case it's survival. Yeah, throw all the horses you want, all the king's horses and all the king's men, pal. Need a ball. We got him. We got him. Yeah, get in that vacuum cleaner. Boy, how's he gonna empty this thing though? Oh, there's like a big pink key. Professor Egad. I love the way this guy talks, like Banjo-Kazooie. So we're back to the professor's lab. And presumably this will be like, what's up, Nico? Portable gaming is coming back. It seems like it's more popular than console gaming because of cell phones. I think people are used to gaming on the go now. And it was a big thing back then, but it was always like the lesser games. Like you'd portably game with games that weren't as good as console games. Now, from the Steam Deck on, it's like portable games and console games and PC games are all the same. And that's pretty crazy. If you would have told us that back in the day, I'm sure that would have blown a lot of people's minds. Huh? I'm sure that would have blown a lot of people's minds. But I think that this section starts the next chapter. Whatever we're doing to the poltergeist. We're trapping these ghosts into like paintings. That seems almost evil. This professor's like using me for his own sick purposes. Thanks for your help, Luigi, he even just said. Instead of living in their home peacefully before I come and fuck around with it. They're literally in paintings now. For this professor to lord over. This game is evil. We'll go back to the mansion. Ooh, spooky.
It's like, come back with more paintings, Luigi.
Luigi's all like, you're gonna get my brother, right?
Yes, we will get your brother in due time, but first, more paintings.
Pretty cool stuff, but I tell you what. It's amazing that we got to this point. It's amazing that we're at this point, right? But I think that, you know, we're going to save it for now. And we'll come back to Luigi's Mansion. This one seems like a little more fun to play than Mario Sunshine. Because I think Mario Sunshine was just more, I don't know. It was good, but it wasn't like we can come back to it. But this is like, I feel like this is a little bit easier to digest. Now, Chad Hogan Live, all right. It's easier to digest, and I kind of like this Luigi's Mansion. It brings me back to the launch of Gamecube and lets me tell you all sorts of stories, but I have things to do today, and so do you. So we'll call it a do for now, and I'll be back in the next couple of days with another stream. I'm going to look back. I'm kind of just curious, too, and listen to the audio and make sure things are going well. Like, I can't do nothing about the webcam quality till I get a better webcam, but I can always do things about the audio quality. So thank you very much for your patience. Hit the like and subscribe. Tell your friends and family members. And remember, if it's not Chad Hogan Live, it's probably someone else you're watching.